Good day everybody, my name is Arinza. On this video I'm going to show you how you can be able to solve a hidden captcha. Most of the times you are going to see a website that is blocking your boot. Maybe you are trying to use normal way all of us have been solving captcha, using click the audio, get the audio and now convert it to text and now submit. So some of the websites they are trying to do is they are going to maybe using a callback JavaScript function to submit your captcha. So it's going to be difficult for you to do that. Anytime you're trying to click the audio, they are going to tell you that you are using a boot, that the system will tell you that you're using a boot. So it becomes difficult for you to actually submit the captcha. So on this video I'm going to show you how you can be able to get different parameters that are going to help you to be able to solve the captcha. This is the website that you're going to try to log in. If you try to log into this website, maybe by using the normal way, clicking the audio, is going to probably tell you that you are using a boot and it cannot actually go further from that. So it's now the script that you're writing is not going to be obsolete, it's not going to work. So there are things that you need. First of all, you need a toCaptcha API. It's going to help us to be able to solve the captcha using the toCaptcha API. Another thing you're going to need is the site key. I'm going to tell you how you can get this site key by running a JavaScript function. So and you're now going to build your Selenium navigation, maybe getting the experts of every key and then getting everything that you needed. And again, you need the URL that the captcha appears on. If you look at this is not the landing page. This is a frame that appears. This is the landing page here. So now when you now click on login, it's not going to prompt a third party, which is Wax, which you can now use to connect to your atomic hub. So now for us to now be able to solve this, we are going to use this URL. We are going to use the base URL to log into the site, but we are not going to use this URL to solve the captcha, because this URL is where the captcha is. So now when we now come to our site, we get our basic API. If you go to toCaptcha, they are going to tell you how you can connect to the API and how you can make the calls and everything. I'm probably going to leave the link to my GitHub for this code below. So now first of all, you have to look for get captcha you have to look for this function, because some of them will just get captcha that's response, and some of them will add another thing that is not one. So how can you now get this? So if you now go over to here, I think I already have the div to open. So you can now come over to the element, come and inspect it. If you now inspect it, you will now gonna see I need to widen this so that I can be able to see. Look at the ID, get the ID. What is the name? This is now the get the captcha. So this is the name that you are now going to use to inject, because we want to eliminate the display.none. So we need to inject to the inner HTML. So now this is the ID. You make sure that it's the same ID as when you are inspecting your tool. You get the element by the ID, which is the name of this. And now I'm going to show you how you can be able to get this. This is the name of the callback function. So when you have not gotten the callback function, because they are not using the callback function because there's no submit button, they're not using the callback function to be able to submit your captcha. So I'll show you how you can easily get this callback function, because this is one of the major things that you are going to struggle with, getting the name of the callback function. So now if you now come in toCaptcha, in their GitHub, in their GitHub, they dropped this JavaScript that you can use. You run it on the div tool, the console div tool. You can easily tell you where the name of the toCaptcha, tell you the site key, and maybe any other information that might be useful to you. So now let's go to the div tool. This is the console. I've already run the JavaScript function. This is the JavaScript function. There are so many other ways that you can get the captcha. If you can look very well, you can get the captcha by just typing this. This is what the first step that I was taking. Then you can also get the captcha by now running this function. When you now run this function, it's not going to tell you specifically this, and this is the name of the callback function. Look at the site key I was telling you about. every captcha have their own site key, and how you can now do that, how you can now use the one they are going to use for the two captcha API. So now the ID also, you have to now look, they have to array here. This one is the first one, this is the second one. So it's either you use 0 or you use 1. The 2 is going to call the callback function and now make the submission. So now after you have gotten this, you now go over to your navigation, your Selenium navigation. You put it there, your token. This is when you are now making requests for your token. When you now submit your API, and then the ID is not going to keep on going and requesting, maybe trying to solve it over and over again. So when it now gets the token, it's not going to assign it to form token and now supply it to the inner HTML. When you now supply to the inner HTML, and then maybe we'll now wait for some seconds, and then we are now going to call the callback function with the token that have been solved, and it's not going to submit our captcha for us. And one thing again is that it's not going to turn green. Let me run the script. It's not going to turn green. It's probably not going to turn green. It just go, if you just wait for it to turn green, it's not going to turn green. It's just going to solve it on the background, and that's just it. And that's all. Everything is not going to be smooth. Let's run our automation and now see if it's going to solve it or not. So now I have already inputted our details. Now let's go over to our script and see how it's now going to try to solve the captcha and everything. Okay, I've already started trying. Captcha not ready. You keep on trying, it will keep on trying until it gets the captcha. Let's wait for it. You have seen now I have already solved the captcha. So if we now come back to the site, let's now see what is going to happen. You have already solved it. So as you can now see, the authentication have actually is not trying to tell you, I sent a mail that you have to now put the two-factor authentication. This was one of the, I really struggled on how to actually get to this point to be able to solve the captcha. I really spent good amount of time trying to get it, but finally I'm able to get it. So if you are actually having the same trouble using this video, you can actually narrow down your search and everything. I'm going to leave the GitHub link to this particular part, and then you can maybe try to understand it and use it and maybe change some things and see how it's going to help you to solve hidden captcha. Thank you once again. Please don't forget to sub and give me a thumbs up please, so that my channel will grow. Thank you and God bless you.